Hello and welcome back to my channel. In my continuing endeavor to make poor choices that do not serve me in my life, I am going to now do a Q&A. Now that I'm super full and super tired, I just had some zoodles, some zucchini noodles, and pesto chicken with some marinara on the zoodles and pesto on the chicken. It was definitely one of those things where I should have eaten it 3 days ago, and like this, I got it probably within hours, or I will be sick tonight. I'm pretty sure it was still fine, but it was like just barely fine because I, again, should have eaten it like 3 days ago. But I'm not an adult and I don't know how to make good choices. And so now I'm really full and a little tired and not as animated as I should be. I actually also thought I would film this before I ate, but then all my tech was dead. My phone was dead. My iPad was dead. My computer was dead. And I was like, once I put my phone on this stand, I was like, where do I think I'm reading these questions from? Like, if I don't have, like, so anyway, everything is charged now. Everything, because then I put everything on the charger, and I've eaten and I'm a little tired, and I'm super excited to do this Q&A with you today. I also thought it'd be fun for me to put on some makeup while I did it, which also again does not make as much sense now that it is 5:05 p.m. But I mean, it's quarantine. Who's checking for me? Nobody. I'm not even checking for myself. So you can see kind of how I do my makeup. It's not anything too big or exciting or groundbreaking because I tend to only wear natural makeup, which is going to change because I put a Fenty order in, but we'll talk about that at another time. But I tend to just use natural makeup, and it's just not as like vibrant. The coverage is not insane, which is good because I actually don't really like the way foundation looks, and so I tend to use mostly tinted moisturizers. But today I will be using a natural foundation. I guess I'll show you what I'm using. So this is by a company called Aire Perez, which is a natural company, and I really do, as far as like makeup or foundation goes, I really like theirs. It's really light. That was dumb. I should have put it on my skin instead of on the sponge. And so usually when I'm wearing it, unless I put way too much on, it's just slightly more coverage, and the finish is slightly different than an actual foundation. I shouldn't say that. It is a foundation. It's just a natural foundation. So I will try to figure out how people do this. I haven't done a video related to skin, beauty, or anything like that in years. If you've ever looked around on this channel to see what I used to do, you'll see some natural makeup. Like I think I did a lipstick. Why don't I look in the actual mirror that I have for this? You'll see I did like a lipstick swatch video with a bunch of natural lipsticks. I think I've even put on makeup on camera, maybe. Or maybe I've just talked about it. I probably did like some skincare reviews or something like that. So yeah, I did initially intend for this channel to be more lifestyle based, but then I went through a pretty bad depression. Wow, this is really, we're off to a start. This isn't even a question. I'm just giving you information. I went through a pretty bad bout of depression a few years ago, and it lasted like 2 going on 3 years. And during that time, anytime I tried to film, I just like had so much anxiety and just like was so low and depressive, obviously, that like I just couldn't keep up with content, and then I would feel stressed that I couldn't keep up with content, and then everything spiraled out of control, to the point that I actually started today a little project that I'm excited that I might actually finish while we're in quarantine, which is I love to buy skincare and natural products. I used to have my own skincare line, and so I am definitely like, I wouldn't say a product junkie because it's not about the product or the branding. It's definitely for me about the skincare. There's so much cool natural skincare out here in the world now. And I'm just like, I love it and I want to try it all. That's not true. I want to try any of it that's good for my skin. The irony with that is that my skin has been breaking out uncontrollably this year. I feel like I go through this every couple of years where I'll have a year or two where my skin is really clear. And then I'll have a year like this where it's like, no matter what I do, my skin won't be clear. And I think in general, it's annoying when your skin isn't clear for any human, But it's especially annoying to me as someone who knows skincare and knows like what my skin should and shouldn't be able to tolerate in order to have clear skin. And so it's like one of these, like, I think it's just one of these life lessons where life will just like show you don't know as much as you think you know. And so I know that so speaking about acne and skincare, there's a couple people on here on the platform that have spoken out about like their skincare woes, like Raven Simone, who's an amazing YouTuber, has battled with acne here and there, like over the years, as well as Samantha Ravindale. And they both, because they're beauty influencers, like their skin is really important, right? It's just like, that's just what it is. Like we live in a very superficial society. And so having acne as someone who does makeup, on the one hand can be a little bit debilitating, which they've talked about, but on the other hand, it's like nice for fellow people who struggle with their skin, right? Because it's good to know how to cover and how to like make your makeup look good, even if you have acne. And so I think luckily there's still a market for those types of YouTubers, no matter what condition their skin is in. Another one is, her name starts with a T. What is her name? Talia? Okay, I'll just put it down below. But anyway, I don't know why yes, I know why we're talking about this. We're talking about this because my skin's been freaking out, and I pride myself on knowing how to take care of a skin. And when you're doing the things to take care of your skin and it's still freaking out, there's nothing more frustrating than that, especially if you feel like it's an area that you excel in. And so I think though, for me, it's sort of like, I need to get slapped down like this sometimes because, you know, one thing all those YouTubers talk about a lot is that they already know everything about skin. Like you can't tell them anything about skin. If you think they haven't tried it, if you think they haven't researched it, if you think they haven't spoken to professionals about it, you're wrong. Like they have tried it. Like acne is not about whether or not your skin is clean, whether or not your skin is healthy. It's so many things contribute to acne or your skin freaking out. And so I say all that to say, why did I say all that? To say, like, even me sometimes, I think knowing that, like, when I see people struggling with their skin, I will, as someone who's made skincare in the past, I'll be like, oh, I bet I can make a product for that and help them. And if I knew, like, their skin history and I knew, like, whether they were dry and, like, what they suffered from seasonally and, like, what their allergens were, I bet I could make a product that would clear their acne. And then it's like, no, the fuck you can't, bitch. You can't even clear your own shit. I can't even clear my own shit. How am I gonna fix your shit? And so I think it's just good to have that perspective where it's like, oh no, like sometimes your skin just wants to do whatever the fuck it wants and it does not care what you want. Like it does not care what you want. Okay, so I have some foundation on and I'm putting blush on because there's no rhyme or reason, honestly, to how I do my makeup. And I like to brush my blush across my nose for a little sun kiss action because I do tend to go for like blushes that aren't too pink or rosy. Like they have to be like a dusty rose or more like an apricot because I get red easily. And so it's like if I put on like a cute little pink or reddish tone blush and then I am exerting myself, now I'm gonna look like a fucking clown. So welcome back to this video. It's time. I just got foundation all over my iPad. This is going great. I love everything. Let's answer your questions. It's 9 minutes in. Okay. Why are you fighting me? This is my, thank you. Okay, let's see what you guys asked. Oh, I'm going to start with Ben. Hi, Ben. Ben is my boo on Twitter, and I love him. He's in France, and so I'm going to answer your questions first. I'm just going to go down this list. I have like I'll put it in the description. I have like a list of questions I tweeted about a while ago. I could not get to 30 questions, but as long-winded as I am, it's probably best that we didn't get there because like I said, we're 9 minutes in. I haven't answered a fucking question. So Ben says, what's the thing you can't stand in a relationship? By relationships, I mean all kinds, friendship, love, etc. Ooh, I think this has been coming up a lot for me because I have like a new friendship that is reminding me of the kind of friendships that I want and like the kind of friendships that are lasting. And so I moved to California almost 6 years ago and I had to start all over, in the sense of having friends that are local to me. My friends that are my friends have been friends for years. Like I have friends that I've been friends with since middle school, and we are still super duper close, and high school and so on. And so those people are still very much a part of my life. I adore them. I can go years without talking to them, and when we talk, it's like no time has passed. But again, none of them are where I am. So in terms of hanging out physically in person, it was important for me to build a friend network, because I actually hate talking on the phone. Because a lot of the jobs I've had have been tech, like I just have always worked in tech. I'm always in front of a computer. The last thing I want to do is be on a phone talking to someone. The last thing I want to do is like FaceTime or text or any of that. Like, I'm just over it. Like, I'd rather have in-person interactions. So I have one really good friend here that's like my work wife, and we've been friends for 6 years, and we've been married for 6 years, and she's my fucking queen of the universe, and we always make it. And then I have had a couple of other friendships come and go. I have another friend of mine that I'm super close to that moved to Texas. And so I was sort of like feeling like I had a couple friendships fall apart, because that happens. That's a part of life. And I was feeling like, oh, I don't have a lot of friends here anymore. All my friends have moved away. One of my other dearest friends just moved to fucking Denver. Everyone's leaving California. I mean, I don't blame them, but I'm sad for myself. And so I made a friend recently, and I was like, oh, this is what I want. So for me, deal breakers in friendships are around things like honesty and communication. Like, I have no chill. I will tell you exactly what I think when I think it. I need you to be able to handle that, because it's not that I don't love you, but if you fucked up, I'm going to tell you you fucked up. If you're making a bad choice, I'm going to tell you you're making a bad choice. I'll still be there with you. I'll still support you. But if you fall on your face, and I told you you were going to fall on your face, I'm going to be like, okay, cool. So you fell on your face. Now what? I'm not going to coddle you. That's not my personality. And I don't want to be coddled either. Contrary to what one of my exes thinks, but her opinion doesn't matter. And so for me, it's like I want to have really genuine interactions with people. The other thing is, like, I give 110%. And so ideally, in a friendship that's going to work, I need other people to do the same. And I think this also gets back to honesty and communication. Like, I've just had such a lovely time with my newest friend, because she and I are very similar, almost to the point where I'm taken aback, where she'll hit me up and she'll be like, hey, I haven't seen you. Where you at? Let's get together. And she's just like about our friendship. And that to me is like such a lovely thing, to have someone just be like, you're so fucking amazing. I adore you. I want to see you all the time. I'm so glad we met. It's like, that's what I do to people, but I don't have a lot of people that do that to me to the extent that this recent friend has. And that's just really nice, where I'm like, oh, this is why people are friends with me, first of all, because like, how isn't that lovely to have someone that just gives a shit about you, and like is so down for you, and thinks that you're amazing, and wants to spend time with you, and tells you they love you. Like, those are the things that I really want in relationships, period. I want to be able to tell you what I think. I want you to be able to tell me what you think. I want you to be able to communicate with me if I'm fucking up, and vice versa, or whatever. I want there to be some kind of unconditional support system where people feel like, for me, again, being so blunt, nothing makes me more sad than when one of my friends is like, oh, I was scared to tell you X. And I'm just like, I'm going to be your friend no matter what. You might not like what I have to say about it, but like, please don't ever be scared to talk to me about anything, because I'm going to be there for you no matter what. So yeah, I'm going to stop there, or I'll get emotional, because I get really, friendship shit really gets to me. Okay. Armin's question. If you were president in the world, what law would you approve, and what was your last dream about? Jesus, girl. President, what law would I approve? I don't think I would probably disband constitutions and governments, to be honest. Like, I think this current situation, if nothing else, highlights just how little control, oversight, honesty, transparency, true governance governments have, right? And so like, I'm kind of an anarchist, and I'm kind of just like burn it all to the ground. That's just my personality. And so for me, I don't think law is going to make a difference. I think people changing in large groups is the best change you can have. And so if you can have conversations with people and slowly get them to be on the same page, like, that to me is much more important than any law or any like oversight that you can have. Like, you need to find a way for people to meet in the middle. And I say this especially as someone who has really strong opinions. Like, I need to be able to go into any conversation and be willing to create understanding, right? And I do that a lot. Like, I rant, I rave, but a lot of times I have to take a step back, especially after ranting for more than a couple days. I will say to myself, okay, this isn't working. Like, what is the real problem? What am I actually trying to convey? Or am I trying to argue with people? Or am I trying to push my point on people? Or can I open up and be vulnerable enough to let people know how I feel and then hear how they feel? Because if I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm always thinking about what my point is or what I want them to do, and they're having a conversation with me thinking about their point and what they want out of the conversation, we're not having a conversation, we're debating, and it's polite enough that we're calling it a conversation. But if you're debating with people, you're not ever going, like, human nature is to be resistant to someone else's opinion, unfortunately. And so you see a lot of times when you're trying to like hammer your point into someone else, that they're going to pull back and they're going to double down on their opinion rather than you get anywhere and you guys reach some sort of consensus. So yeah, I wouldn't make any fucking laws. Fuck all that shit. What was the second? Ooh, the last dream I had.